So we're talking horse racing on Proline TV. It's about 8 o'clock, a little after 8 on Thursday, the 28th of May, 2026. Thanks for tuning in. Jon Hardoon joining us once again. How's it going, John?
Good, Greg. How are you?
I'm doing good. And we have ourselves a couple of races from Churchill Downs that we're going to talk about. This will be on Saturday's card, races 8 and 10. The big race of the day is the Blame Stakes. No grade ones on this card. And matter of fact, I'm not even sure if there's any grade twos, but a bunch of grade threes.
By the way, they have 7 of them, so it's not like it's a bad card.
No.
It's a good card.
Yeah, a lot to choose from.
And the weather will be perfect. So
okay. And yeah, there is a grade 2, the Shawnee. I'm not sure which race it is, but that is not one of the races we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about races 8 and 10. And let's get to it. And I'll update everybody a little bit later on what we're doing for next week. Big week next week. Next week's the Belmont week?
Yes, sir. A week from Saturday.
All
Saratoga,
right.
It will be run at Saratoga. Saratoga opens on Wednesday for a festival week, Belmont Festival Week.
And that's only 1 week for the mini meet.
Yes, they go back up to Saratoga for the 3rd through the 7th, and then they come back to Aqueduct and they close the doors for good on June 28th, I believe.
Wow. Okay. And don't come back again until when?
They never come back to Aqueduct. They come back to Saratoga,
right.
And they go to Belmont Park for the grand reopening of the new Belmont Park. There will be no more Aqueduct. It's gone by the wayside.
All right. So let's talk about race 8 at Churchill Downs. We know that racetrack ain't going anywhere. It's a grade 3 race. There are 7 in the field. The morning line favorite is the 3, Roll on Big Joe. And this horse is a 9-5 shot. This is a race which is a 4-year-old and up race, 6 furlong. Should go off close to 4:30 on Saturday, the Aristides Stakes. And so Roll on Big Joe is coming off 4 fantastic races in a row, 2 5s, a 3, and a 5. So that's going to be a tough horse to beat on Saturday, race 8. All right, so let's go through the field. We'll start with the 1, Madhouse. And this is a 7-2 shot. Couple of 7s this year. Has a grade 2 and a grade 3 win. This is a horse who wants to go wire to wire if possible. He's got those wins I just mentioned recently. What about Madhouse?
Well, again, we talked about it, I think, on a previous show, that the Oaklawn shippers have not done well shipping to Churchill. And this horse has never been at Churchill, where you'll see Roll on Big Joe has been at Churchill, even though he's been running at Oaklawn, but he's still 3 for 4 at Churchill. Anyway, all that being said, I mean, the horse has a shot, but, I don't love him. Let's put it that way.
And any particular reason why this is a recent thing where horses that are at Churchill
this year that's the way it's been playing. The horses that are shipping in from fairgrounds have done much better than the Oaklawn Park shippers.
And when that happens, what are the reasons?
There is no. It's just the way it goes. It goes through streaks like everything else. I'm just pointing out.
So there's no particular reason for that.
I'm pointing out a stat.
That's usually what I do.
Exactly. Okay. I took your hat this week.
Yes.
Go ahead.
All right. The 2 is Cornucopian, a Bob Baffert trained horse with Pratt on board. So you got that combo at 5-2, 6 in January in an optional claimer win. Then a 4 also at Santa Anita. That was in a grade 3 win in March. Then it comes back with an 8 at Churchill right here in a grade 1 race when he finished 5th. So what about Cornucopian?
Well, the 8 is okay. I don't mind the 8 off the 4. He figured to bounce. Now he figures to move forward. This is my top selection. I'm looking to beat the favorite. The favorite could certainly win, Roll on Big Joe, but he's going to be even money or less. And this horse, you may get 2-1, 5-2. You're getting Pratt for the first time. For Baffert, this is my top selection in this race.
Okay, there you go. Pratt Baffert combo, short price, second choice right now. The first choice is the 3, and I mentioned those numbers earlier. His last race, he did finish second in a grade 3 race. And keep in mind, those races that he did win 3 straight, by the way, running 5, 5, and 3. None of those were stakes races, but this one is just a grade 3. So, step up, but just a little bit. What about the 3?
Row on Big Joe is fine. He's obviously the horse to beat. He never runs a bad race. He's got a 5 last year at Churchill, but I don't feel like giving out a 3 to 5 shot. So I went with Cornucopia.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay. The next one is the 4 Durante or Durant. And this horse is a 10-1 shot, a 7-year-old, Gaffleone on board. And the line has been good this year, but he's a little slow. So he'd have to, he's got 7s last year. So he needs maybe more than a 7. So he's going to have a big jump here. At least he's headed in the right direction, but he's an old horse with 48 career starts.
Well, the only good thing about him is that he's 10-1, and he did run a 9 last time out, and he has 7s to go back to last year. However, that being said, he's not the same horse he was last year. Last year he was consistently running 7s and 9s, even a 6. This year it took an effort for him to get down to the 9. So for that reason, I am against him.
Okay, then comes the 5 Tejano Twist, another 7-year-old with 49 starts. This horse just never seems to go away, though. Take a look at those numbers, and since December of last year, all single digits, a couple of 5s, a 6, most recently an 8. So you can never count Tejano Twist out, especially at 12-1.
No, but he's an Oaklawn Park specialist. He loves Oaklawn Park. Even last year, he had a 12 and 13, the 2 worst races of the year for him last year. Where were those run? Those were run at Churchill. Before that, at Oaklawn, 7, 8, and 8. Well, it looks like it's going to be the same thing this year. He comes in from Oaklawn with those big numbers, doesn't do the same at Churchill as he does at Oaklawn. So for that reason, I would use him because he's 12-1 and he has some number power, but I think he's more likely to run a 10, 10, 12, something like that than one of the 8s or 9s.
Very well done. You've been around the park here at horse racing, handicapping, haven't you?
I learned a thing or two along the way.
Along the way. The 6 is Matticat Road. You got Baffert again here with a Red Ortiz Jr. And what's interesting about Matticat Road, a couple things. First of all, he's only run at this distance 6 furlongs twice, and he's won both races. Yeah. Okay. Unfortunately, he's never had a single-digit number.
Well, the whole edge of this race is not using this horse on a ticket. He's 9-2. So he's the 3rd or 4th choice, but I don't want any part of this horse. He's going to take money because it's Baffert and Ortiz, but like you said, he's got all these starts, 10 lifetime starts. He's never run a single digit. You're going to need a single digit. He doesn't fit.
And then the last horse is actually a horse I definitely want to play to make some money on in some way, and that's Gold Sweep. This horse at 15-1, you get a big upgrade with Jose Ortiz, and his line has gone from 11 plus to 11 to 9 to 7. So at least he's a little bit further along than the other long shot we talked about, Durant. And you're getting 15-1 with Jose Ortiz on board. So I'm definitely going to play Gold Sweep.
Well, I never took anyone off of 15-1 shots, but obviously you weren't listening to me.
I know he's off Oaklawn, but
all these races,
he's 15-1.
Yes, so for that reason, go ahead. I'm not going to knock you.
And he's 5. He's not 7.
Yeah. Listen, he's 15-1. If he's that price, I could certainly see using him. I'm not blaming you. I think you're right. That's all.
Okay, so you're going 2 over.
2 over the 1, the 3, I guess, and the 5. 2 over 1, 3, 5. Unless the 2 is really 5-2, 3-1, and then I would just bet him to win and not even get involved with exactas, since the favorite is most likely to probably run second if he does win this horse.
All right. I'm also going to go with the 2, and I'm going to go with the 2 over the 4 and the 7. Try to make some money with the 2 over the 4 and 7. John's got the 2 over the 1, 3, and 5.
Correct the number.
Race number 8, Churchill. Let's move on to race number 10, and this is the Blame Stakes. Okay, so let's get the blame stakes out. Mile and an eighth, so we get a little longer here. $300,000 race. This should go off about 5:30 on Saturday. 4-year-olds and up, just like the race we just talked about. The morning line favorite is the 8. There's only 8 horses in the field, and that's Vibe. I think he's the most inexperienced horse in the field as well. 4-year-old who is getting better each time out. He ran an 8 last time in a win at Churchill at a mile. He hasn't been this distance before, and he has never raced off of Lasix before.
So and he's 9-5. All good points made by you.
That is when I've learned a thing or two from you as well. So that is Vibe, the morning line favorite in race number 10. Let's go through the field, starting with the 1, Rattle and Roll. And a Rattle and Roll, a 7-year-old. And by the way, Kenneth McPeak, who's training this horse, has won 2 of the last 3 blame stakes. Pratt's on board. So we haven't seen Pratt on board this horse, at least for a while. Off of back-to-back 12. So that's a bad sign as a 7-year-old, back-to-back 12s. He did have a 6 to end the year in December. But, I don't know whether Pratt can do that much justice, but especially at 4-1.
That's the key. He's 4-1. If he was a price and you wanted to make a case for him, I could buy it. But the fact that he's 4-1, there's no value in using this horse. I get it. He likes Churchill. He's 4 for 11 with the 2nd and 3/3. So he's finished in the money in all of those races. But at 4-1, there is just no value in using this horse.
Yeah, I mean, with Pratt on board, I don't know if we're going to get better than that. But I don't know. Maybe we'll get lucky. The 2 is Hall of Fame. And this horse is a 6-1 shot. You got Asmussen and Ortiz. He's coming off a 9. Before that, he had a 10 in July. So this is only his 2nd race since last July. And let's see, he did run 3 6s last year. So that's a good sign. He's a 5-year-old. What about Hall of Fame?
Well, I would use him underneath because the 9 that he ran last time out was at 7 furlongs. And it was off of a long layoff. So obviously it was a prep for this coming race. So I wouldn't put much into the 9. And like you said, he's got a couple of 6s and a couple of 8s. He's 6-1. Nothing wrong with using this horse.
Yeah, that 6-1 is very helpful. Let's hope that stays that way. Okay, next up is the 3, Hit Show. And Hit Show is a very interesting horse. This is a 5-2 shot. Cox and Red Ortiz Jr. So you have a big combo there. Several things to note. And that is that this horse won that Dubai World Cup in 2025. He tried to do the whole World Cup thing again in March, and it didn't fare too well. But what happened last year after he came back from that trip, he ran a 10 and finished in 5th. So now he's trying to do, by the way, that was in June 28th. Now he's trying to come back a month earlier, and he's also a year older. So that's a lot to ask for a 5-2 shot who 3 of his last 4 wins have been on Lasix.
Excellent read. You're right. Everything you said is right. Last year he ran the 5 at Maidan, came back to Churchill with plenty of time off, and he ran a 10. Well, this year he ran the 11. Last year he ran a 5, and when he came back, he went back 5 points. So for that reason, I'm really not interested in this horse at a short price, but I'll be king a bomb in here. So I guess with the bomb, I'll throw this horse in somewhere underneath only because it's Brad Cox and Red Ortiz. But I don't like the horse. I would never key off of him.
I also like a bomb. So
okay,
let's see here.
Let's keep going.
Yeah. All right. Maybe. Well, there's a lot of bombs coming, so maybe we don't have the same bomb, but we probably do. All right. Capital Ideas next. This is a 10-1 shot. The 4, you got Mott training. 9 and 8 last time out. And for the most part, he's been very consistent. He runs between 8 and 11 in the last couple of years.
Solid horse, never really runs a bad race. The question is that I don't think an 8 is going to be good enough to win. But if you wanted to use him underneath an exactus, go right ahead.
Okay, yeah, because remember, keep in mind the morning line favorite of the race, just his best is an 8. So maybe if you get a 7 or a 6.
He's certainly as good or better than Rattle and Roll. I'll tell you that much. Who's half the price. So.
Yep, absolutely. All right, next up is the 5, Houday. Bryant Hernandez has actually been on this horse, has been on the winner of this race 2 of the last 3 years, but that was with Kenneth McPeak.
By the way, McPeak and Hernandez are on the outs, so that's why he's not riding for him.
Okay. He's got back-to-back nines. He ran a 7 in October, so he's got 4 straight single digits. You're getting a good number at 12-1, and he's over 50% wins for his career. What about Houday?
Well, he's coming off of Lasix. That's the first problem. He's okay. He's like other horses in the race. I guess it's a game time decision when you see prices. Another one. He never really runs a bad race. His last 4 starts were 7s or 9s. So you wanted to play him, go ahead.
And because I think that there were some reasonable situations to nitpick on some of these favorites. That's why I felt, hey, why not take a look at the 6, Original Sin. You got Walsh, you got Gaffalione. He's only 4 years old, not a lot of starts. And in his 3rd year of racing, all of a sudden, he's got an 8, bounces to a 12, comes back to a 5, and you're getting 15-1. And this is why I was going to jump all over Original Sin, just like you.
Just like me.
There you go.
The good news is that he's had trouble in all 3 of the starts this year. So even when he bounced the 12-2 starts back, you see the T on the sheets there. He got a lot of credit for being extremely wide, and he had trouble in that race as well, and he had trouble last time out at Keeneland. Listen, he's 4 years old. He's allowed to pair up 5s. And if he ever pairs up 5s at 15-1, well, you got yourself a heck of a bet there. And I like this horse in this spot.
Yeah, and the good thing too is because he hasn't been in any big races.
They think he's cheap. He hasn't. Yeah. This actually, the truth of the matter is, Greg, this is his first stakes race ever.
Yeah.
So he has 7 lifetime starts, and they were all against. Listen. He originally was trained by Brad Cox. Not many people improve off of Cox, but Walsh has done a terrific job with this horse, an 8 and a 5. It's not like the 8, the 5 confirms the 8. The 5 that he ran last time out shows you that 8 wasn't just a flash in the pan. It was a one-hit wonder. The fact that he ran the 5 last time out really strengthens that 8.
Yeah, and even in his first race with Walsh, he runs a 12, which was a 9-point top.
Well, that was also first Lasix, so I'm just saying.
And he bounces to the 15 and then comes back with the 8, bounces to the 12, comes back with the 5. Now, we hope he doesn't bounce, but 15-1.
He's coming off of Lasix, so obviously that's always a concern, considering the first 2 races of his life without Lasix were the worst 2 races of his life.
Yes.
But he was a 2-year-old then, and you're allowed to get better. Listen, he's 15-1. It's a no-brainer. We're betting this horse.
Yeah, it's exactly as we understand the pitfalls.
Yes.
Okay, the 7 is.
You're not going to get a 15-1 shot that's foolproof. Obviously, there are going to be some question marks surrounding him. But the name of the game is value. If you're right once out of every 5 times betting a horse like this, you will come out way ahead of the game.
That's it. Next up is the 7, Liberal Arts, and this is a 20-1 shot. And the best Liberal Arts has been able to do is run a couple of 9s in his last 5
for
starts.
Brad Cox. They were for Brad Cox. Now it's Heather Ironian. I don't know what the hell her name is, but this horse has no chance.
And then the 8 is the favorite, Vibe, Pletcher, Saez combo. And again, remember, this horse has also never been off Lasix. The line is 23, 14, 11, and 8. So he's doing nothing wrong. But
he's never been 2 turns, and he's going to be the favorite. So, again, you're keying a horse like the 6, Original Sin. You want to use as many horses as possible that have a chance. But don't ever consider betting this horse at 9-5. Again, obviously he could win if he runs the 8, but he's never been 2 turns, and I don't see it. He's not a 9-5 shot. He just isn't. I would much rather bet Hall of Fame all day long before I bet Vibe. If I was looking, and Hall of Fame is at least 6-1. So here we go. I'm using the 6 Original Sin. The first thing you must do is make a win and place bet if he's anywhere near this price. If you're looking for exactas, 6 with the 2, 3, 8, I guess. 6 with 2, 3, 8. But again, you got to have that win and place bet on the 6 anywhere near this price.
Okay, 2, 3, and 8. And
Under
so what
yeah.
What I'll do is 6 over 2, 4, and 5. So
You know what? I may like your exacta play better, but you're right. You got it. We got it covered. All right, Greg. Next week we'll. I don't know. You'll tell everybody whatever they got to know.
I will. Thanks, John.
Next week is Belmont Stakes, so we'll definitely be back next Thursday.
Next Thursday.
Live and in color from Saratoga. Thanks, Greg. Stay safe and be well, and thank you, everybody, for listening.
Thanks, John. And there he goes. So, okay. So how about that? Now, just imagine if Original Sin wins. See, this is of course, this is the fun part. We get to go talk about why we're picking some of these long shots, and but still got to win, right? Or at the very least, have him come in second with one of the horses we're keying in with, and still make some money because he's a long shot. Don't see any reason why he still won't be a long shot. I don't know if he'll still be 15-1. But, we would hope that we'll still get a pretty good price, because I don't know how many times we've talked about long shots like this, and then it's Saturday and, the race is 10 minutes to go and you look at the odds and all of a sudden he's 6-1. And it just drives you crazy. But, hey, the winning is the name of the game, no matter what the odds are, and that's all we care about. Okay. So let me just recap the picks. So John is going to go race 8. He's got the 2 over the 1, 3, and 5. So that's cornucopia, right? What is cornucopian, the 2. All right. And he's got the 2, he's got the 2 over the 1, 3, 5. Madhouse, Roll on Big Joe, and Tejano Twist. And I'll back him with the 2 over the 4, Durante, and the 7, Gold Sweep. Okay. So, and then we just did the 10. Now, a couple more things. One is originally we were thinking about doing race number 5. Where is it? Where is it? Is this it? Yes, this is race 5. So this is what we were thinking of potentially doing, but it wasn't a graded stakes race, and the horses weren't as good. And I try to, because we're publicizing the shows, I always try to do the best races that are the most important races that people are the most interested in. Sometimes it's not the best betting races, but anyway, so we did not go with the 5, but I was taking a look at the 5 anyway. So let's see. I'm going to give you, now I wouldn't go with who's the morning line favorite here? That would be the 7. Okay, so let's see, the 7. Well, let's go through here quickly. So the 1, my favorite bird, is just too slow. Take a look at his numbers. I mean, he's been getting a little bit better, but he's still slow. So he needs to really keep improving. At least he's got Ortiz on board for the first time, but Pratt last time. So, yeah, I don't know about that. Let me just put this here for my own recollection. Okay. And then we go to the next horse, and that is Baytown Dreamer. And this horse is way too slow. Forget that horse. Then we go to Mr. Mo's Magic. Now, he does have a 12, which is better than the 1. But, well, he has the 12 3 starts ago. All right. So that was in February, the race in Tampa on the 14th. Okay. So he runs a 12 there. Then he comes back, and now you would think, because that was a 5-point new top, and he had just run a 29. So you would think, okay, he's probably going to bounce, and he does. Huge bounce to 23. He comes back to a 14, but he doesn't come back to an all-time best number. So look, he's 12-1. He has won 2 of his last 3 races. So the question is, would you take, because he's 12-1 and he ran the 12, I'd probably take him over the 1. So I'm gonna let's lean towards the 3 right now. No way is it my top pick, but let's see. All right, now this next horse, this is an interesting one. Now, this is a turf race, mile and an eighth. Okay, so this horse here, the 4, turned on. I don't even know how to pronounce this horse's name. So he finally breaks his maiden on dirt at Churchill, but he's on turf, and his last 3 races were on Lasix. He starts his career with a 9th and a 6th off of Lasix at Churchill, runs on Lasix, and then finishes 4th, 2nd, and 1st. All right, so, but the reason why the horse is interesting is because he really has a good line. So he goes 24, 19, 15, 12, 11. So he keeps getting better. And he's 8-1. And he's got Gaffleone and Brendan Walsh. So I like the 4. So we got the 3 and the 4, but I like the 4 right now. I know he's never been on turf before, but who knows? Maybe that's a good thing. All right, next up. Kravitz. Now, Kravitz's line this year is, and this is a horse that has also made a nice forward trajectory. So he starts off with a 31, 24, 22, and then this year goes 21, 14, and 12. So this guy has not done anything wrong. He keeps getting better. That's the 5 Kravitz, and he's been on turf. Graham Motion off to a nice little start. You got Velasquez, and he had to win there to break his maiden when he ran the 14. Comes back in the allowance race. First allowance race, finishes 3rd on Lasix. But again, there were things here to like, especially the price. Okay, now let's go to Zeppelin. And Zeppelin is too slow. And yet he's 7-2. Now Zeppelin did run a 12 in his second start. Okay. So he runs the 12 after a 21. And then you could say, okay, so he bounces to the 14. But then he comes back in his last race with a 15. That's not what you want to see. That was a grade 3 race, so he shouldn't have even been in the race, you think. Now, this is not a graded stakes race, so maybe he's back to where he belongs. But this horse has not finished 1st or 2nd in his last 3 races. Now, he does have the win at Churchill. He's got that going for him. And more importantly, he does have Pratt. But he also had Ortiz. And even Alvarado. We know Alvarado can ride. So I'm not sure that's a big deal there. But 7-2? No. Why would I just went over the numbers with you. No. Not interested. Okay. Touch of Fire. Now, Touch of Fire's run 3 times. He's got a 13, a 13, and then a 14. Now, he does have 2 wins at a second. That's good. All of them on Lasix. And you have Cox and Ortiz Jr. So that's the reason this is the heavy favorite at 2-1. But, hey, why would I want the 2-1 shot as the top play when he's run 13, 13, 14? And Kravitz has run 12 in his last start. The 4-horse has run a 12 and an 11 in his last 2 starts. And even Mr. Moe's got a 12. All right. The 8,000 Sticks, another short-priced horse at 9-2. He's got an 11. So we have to give him that. He ran that 3 starts ago. But then he ran at 13. And if you want to say bounce, fine. But then he ran at 21 in his last start, the one at Churchill. He does have 3 wins. That's good. But he's 0-2 with Churchill. Again, a low-priced horse that I just, why would I go with that horse? All right. Sirac, 20-1 shot, and he's slow. He's got a 14. Now, at least he's headed in the right direction. 18, 16, 16, 14. And he did win and break his maiden in his last start on Lasix. So not a terrible idea, but you're just going to need that trend to continue. You're going to need another, a 12 or an 11 or something to get in the money maybe. But I got other options that have run 12s already. And then Zinal is the big long shot who did run a 12 in his very first start. And then came back with a 17. Both on Lasix. Again, I got other horses to go with. So I'm going to try to beat the 7. I'll put the 7 in there, of course, but I'm going to go with the 4 and the 5 with the 7. So which one to take? Actually, you know what? I'll put the 3 in there too, because the 3 is also a big number. So why don't we do that? Why don't we go with the 3 and the 7 are not my winners. So I get to decide between the 4 and the 5. And I'm going to go ahead and do the 5. So I'm going to go 5 with 3, 4, 7. Okay. There you go. 5th race. Bonus information. Do with it what you please. And hope I hope I've been able to give you all of that. Obviously, you don't have to listen to my picks. You've got the information to make out your own opinion, and I hope you are successful for that. And we appreciate you tuning in and checking us out here at Proline TV. Don't forget, you could always use the super thanks options here on our board. Basically, you hit the thanks. And you see that thanks $. It's usually in the bottom of the video on our page, on the video page. You can donate whatever you want. And keeping in mind that anything that comes in here, advertising dollars, donations, all that stuff is just put right back in to make the show better. And also to make sure that anybody that is associated with us that helps us out to make these shows as good as we can make them, including handicappers like Jon Hardoon. We make sure that that goes in the our little tin can with little dollars in them, sort of like when you're at church. Also, you got the chat on the live right now. There's on the bottom, you see a little chat. You see a $sign there, and you can also do that. But I never talk about it, but I should probably talk about it more so you'd know. Okay, so that's going to wrap it up. Races 5, 8, and 10 from Churchill. And then next week, so this is what we're going to be doing. Okay, so we've got Friday, which is an awesome card, and so is Saturday. So you got 2 awesome cards. So what we decided to do is give you 4 races next week. Okay, so that means we're going to be off for 2 weeks after that. So no coverage on the 13th and the 20th because there's not a lot of big races. There are only 5 graded stakes races in those 2 weeks combined on those Saturdays. So we'll skip those 2 weeks, and then we will come back on the week of the 27th when it's the Stephen Foster, the grade 1 Stephen Foster from Churchill. Also have the Wise Dan and others. And then after that comes 4th of July weekend, and it gets really busy again. So next week, we'll be doing the 4 races, Belmont, and 3 races. Now, it'll be a long show, obviously, so we'll have an extended show, and we'll probably try to skip through the 4th race pretty quickly. I'm not going to go through the entire field, all four races, but we'll go through everything on the Belmont. We'll probably taking a look at whatever is the best race after that, probably do a nice little run through, and then each other one, the second to last and the last, we'll just kind of go by it a little bit quicker. We're not going to spend, like I said, a full field analysis, but we'll try to get through all the top horses and all the top information. So we're not running through it quick. Like I said, it's going to be an extended show, and we're expecting it to start about 8 o'clock next Thursday. Now, this could be a long day. So if something happens where John he's got races and he wants to push it to 9, I have no problem with that. So I'm going to just leave it up to John and his schedule, since there's going to be just tons of races on Thursday. So, but expect us sometime on Thursday night coming up this week, an extended show, and it should be a lot of fun. Hopefully we'll have a good showing as well. And we really appreciate you tuning in as always. We always appreciate the comments and everybody who is very satisfied with the programming, and that's why we do it. And as far as when you see people criticize us and things of that nature, John and I have been doing this business long enough that, the picture rolls right off the back. Sometimes we'll kind of get into it, but it all depends on exactly what is being said. John does, and I do. And anyway, so we appreciate everything that you guys have done for us with all of the traffic and all that stuff. So that means we're doing something right. We appreciate it. We will be back tomorrow on Proline TV and Saturday, tomorrow and every Friday. Now, it's not going to be a Proline TV show. It's going to be a show that we're going to be simulcasting from the Our Lads Football Network. I do that 5 days a week on Our Lads Football Channel, NFL, college football talk. And so every Friday for the next 8 weeks, we're going to have a simultaneous show from both channels originating from Our Lads. And we're going to pick it up here at Proline as well. So you can see it here on Proline, or just go over the Our Lads. If you've never seen Our Lads, you'll see a link in the under the video, and that'll go. I don't know what this is. And you click it, and boom, you can check out Our Lads. If you're into football, college football, NFL, especially and even if you're just into wagering on football, futures, Super Bowl, win totals, we cover it all. We go over depth charts. Fantasy fans really appreciate that. We go over everything, and we have guests on from all sorts of teams, NFL, college football, that get inside those teams and gives us really good information. So if you into football and you like to get ahead of your competition and you want to check that show out, check that channel out. But anyway, that show is going to be every Friday for the next 8 weeks. And again, it'll be on both channels, 4 o'clock Eastern. And we're going to be doing early previews of every division in the NFL. So we're going to start with the NFC South. That's going to be tomorrow. And then we're going to run that through the rest of the next 7 weeks with 7 more divisions in the NFL. And by the time we're done with that, that means we're going to be into July at some point. And that means we're just like a couple of days away from training camp in the NFL. And so I'm not sure what we're going to do after that on Fridays, but I do know that Mark Lawrence is going to be back soon, because that's his show that we're doing, the Playbook ATS podcast, which is done on the Fridays. I've been sitting in for him with Jim Feist and Andy Isco. But at the end of that run, that 8-week stretch, then who knows what will happen. But hey, all I know is I'll still be talking NFL and college football on Our Lads. And we'll still be talking about football on this channel as well on Proline TV, just different formatting and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, if you're into that, check it out, and we'll see you tomorrow. If you will check it out at 4 o'clock, I will be on Saturday night, or roughly, because I do the NASCAR show. It's following practice and qualifying. This week is going to be where is this week? Man, it just shows you I got so much stuff going on. Where is this week? NASCAR. Not that anybody cares. Where is this week's race? I can't believe I don't remember this. That's why I don't remember. Nashville. They don't have many races at Nashville. They've been racing there very, very limited the last couple of years. So that's going to be the coverage. It'll be sometime on Saturday night, and we get good coverage for that. So I go inside the stats for qualifying and practice every Saturday, give up the updated selections as well as contests for NASCAR at DraftKings. And I'll be back with golf on Monday, hopefully, because I've been off the last 2 weeks. I got so upset about the PGA Championship, having Aaron Rai win the PGA Championship. It was just like, there's a lot of reasons why that upsets me. One of the main reasons is because you put so much time and effort into handicapping an event like that, and it's one of 4 majors each year, and then you get some just journeyman player to win. Oh, yeah, he's a top 40 player, and yeah, he's capable, but it's like, that's not why we're not betting him, and we're not we don't watch it for him, and it was not good, and especially because he won where there was really not a lot of competition except Jon Rahm, and Jon Rahm is like a trader now overseas and on the Live Tour. So yeah, that wasn't good. And I was like, you know what? I'm so busy right now with football and everything else. I'm just no, I'm not doing it. And so what I did, of course, now what I do is I put picks on the message board. And I've mentioned this before, and I know a lot of you viewers have you very familiar with that because we've used the message board about 6 months ago when we were doing. I don't know. We've changed so many things around here with our programming, but if you haven't used it before, you can check it out. It's got a community tab. You hit the community tab and you go right to the place where it's basically an area where you can voice your opinions. It's sort of like being able to comment on a video, but not having to go to the video page to do it. Instead, you go to like the community page and you just say whatever you want and people can comment, reply. And that's where I put my picks the last 2 weeks for golf. So anytime, a tip would be is anytime you're looking for information in horse racing from this show and something happens where you're like, well, that's not like them. They didn't tell us nothing. They didn't give us anything. They said they were whatever. Check the community page. Check that out because you might see something there. And you'll see us maybe giving picks away or something that we just couldn't do for whatever reason on the video. But that's always a good thing to do. And anyway, I'll be back though on Monday because there is a big event coming up next week in golf, the Memorial. That is a signature event. All the best players in the world get together again. So I will be making my video return on hopefully Monday. And then in 2 weeks after, that's the US Open. So if you're into golf, I do the same thing. Put the contest together on DraftKings, go over all the bargains and the salary caps, which just like NASCAR, go over which drivers, which golfers are the best ones to take a chance with that are cheap, because you have to put the cheap drivers and the players with the most expensive ones. And that's how you try to make money in contests on DraftKings. And things have been going pretty good. I've enjoyed it. I've only done it this year, and we're ahead. So I'm not where I want to be ahead. I came this close about 3 weeks ago in a golf tournament where was it golf tournament or NASCAR? I think it was golf tournament where if my player had won, then, and I think he finished in 15th or something. If my player had won, then I could have pocketed the whole thing, which would have been like about, I don't know, $5,000 or something like that. And because when I lost and I made some money, I think it was like $200 or something. I checked it out, and sure enough, I looked at it and I was saying, wait a second, I'm looking at my players who finished where they finished, and I'm looking at his players where he finished, and the only difference was he won, and my guy was, like I said, 15th or something. So that was it. I was like, Jesus, I mean, if I would have won that. So that's fun though. I like doing it, and I know a lot of people are into it. So if you're into that golf, NASCAR, then again, subscribe here to Proline, and we do it all for you. I know the one thing I won't, well, there are many things I won't do, but one of them is basketball, NBA basketball. Okay. No NBA, no WNBA, not for me. You can let Andy Isco and Jim Feist handle that. They talk about that on Tuesdays on the Jim Feist show during the summer. And we're not even in the summer yet, if you can believe that. And in baseball, I am going to start talking more about, because my Washington Nationals are starting to play better finally. But if I talk baseball, I'm just talking about the Nationals. And I won't be doing that here because that doesn't make any sense. Just like my Jet show that I do on another channel. So I'll probably do a national show on one of my channels. I have a channel that's been kind of dormant for a while called Prime Sports Network. So maybe I'll start doing videos there for the Nationals. But that's about it. No, I mean, hockey I'd like to do, but just don't have the time. But I really thinking about getting in hockey And if we do that, again, we'll see if we do it here. If it's NHL, we'll do it here. If it's just my team, Vancouver, I'll do it on one of my other channels. So anyway, that's it. I've been blabbering away. I hope everybody has a great weekend and a profitable weekend. And we'll see you next Thursday right here on Proline TV, along with Jon Hardoon. And again, yes,